So good day and welcome again everyone for another weekly or market weekly briefing video. So in this video, as always, ang goal natin is to prepare everyone for the week ahead, for the trading week ahead. And what we'll be doing is to look at what happened with the markets, for the past week. Okay, so let's get into it. Basically, ang ginagawa natin usually dito is we look at the major indices firstly. So we start with the US market, next the Philippine market, and then the crypto market lastly. So let's start with what happened. Ano ba yung nangyari sa major indices natin? So looking at this picture, basically it tells us that the equal weighted S&P 500 outperforms the SPY, and it signals a broader market rally. No, so RSP is outperforming all indices, on a weekly change basis. But in terms of RS and trend composite scores, the SPY Dow Jones is still leading, as well as the RSP, no? And at the same time, looking at the charts and looking at the photo or looking at our dashboard, yung equal weighted Qs and Qs are the weakest in terms of the relative strength and trend. So sila yung nag-underperform, the Nasdaq 100 and the equal weighted Nasdaq 100. So actually up naman this week, but medyo onti lang compared to the S&P 500, which is yung parang usual kadikit niya. So looking at small caps and mid caps, they're flat for the week. And good thing, no, looking at all major indices, it's showing na nasusustain niya yung bullish momentum and bullish trend in all time frames. So tingnan mo yung SPY up to the equal weighted Qs. All indices are above their 10 and 20-day moving average, except Nasdaq 100 actually. But overall, all major indices are above their 20, 50, and 100 and 200-day moving averages. So that's it, or that's that, di ba? So in line with that, let's discuss ano ba yung mga high impact news last week, yung mga economic data releases, earnings reports, mga geopolitical happenings, etc., etc. So isa yun sa mga main contributors with what the markets or the major indices did, no, or yung price action of the indices. So starting with the durable goods orders. So itong ano na 'to, 'tong economic data release was released on Monday, 8:30 PM Philippine time. So higher than expected. Ang expectations is 5% lang pero 9.9%. So ano ba yung pinapakitang mensahe nun, with the markets or with the economy? So there is some growth, tumataas yung durable goods orders, something like that. Ang main point diyan is it's another economic data na removing recessionary fears. So, for the past few weeks, actually 2 weeks or 3 weeks, past 2 to 3 weeks, yun yung main fear, di ba? Na mag-undergo hard landing, recession, and whatnot. Kaya rin nag-crash yung market, no, for the uh, past month, nung start of August actually. So isa yun sa mga main fears. And with this data, it reinforced the idea na there will be a soft landing scenario or high likely na soft landing scenario. Pangalawa, yung GDP growth rate. So it was released Thursday, no? On the second half of the week, around 8:30 PM Philippine time. So consensus is 2.8% lang, higher than expected yung lumabas. So this caused the markets to cheer, and another economic data removing recessionary fears. So obviously, 'di ba? If may recession, dapat lower than expected yung second estimate. So lastly, yung PCE inflation data, core and non-core, were in line with expectations. So it doesn't affect the current stance of the Fed. 'Di ba ang ayaw ng Fed is a rising core PCE and PCE inflation data. Since yan yung preferred inflation measure nila, tama? So wala namang effect, and it also signaled the soft landing scenario where there is no severe disinflation or deflation. So 0.2% yung actual data, consensus is 0.2%. In line lang. So that was the best case scenario, no, for the markets, for risk assets. So another thing, no, Nvidia earnings was released nung bandang Wednesday after the bell. So yung effect nito was experienced on Thursday. So initially, the market sold off, no, post-market Wednesday, but recovered nung bandang afternoon session 'no, Eastern Time, afternoon session Eastern Time. Dahil na rin dun sa ano, sa GDP growth rate, data or yung second estimate. So anyway, to discuss NVIDIA earnings. So they released their earnings, double beat naman, EPS and revenue beat. And actually, they also announced a 50 billion share buyback program. Problem with this, markets did not like the current earnings numbers of NVIDIA. Kahit na earnings beat, double beat, EPS 5.18, revenue is higher than expected, 'di ba? 30 billion, 4.53%. So, it created a negative 7% decline from its pre-earnings scandal, which is this scandal. So, negative 7% pullback yung ginawa ng NVIDIA. So, right now, it's testing the 20-day moving average and 50-day moving average as support. So, treat it as a range. So, tignan natin 'tong ano 'to, parang headline news, something like, that by Sean Williams. So, NVIDIA's 50 billion share buyback is an epically bad decision that sends the wrong message to Wall Street and investors. Parang pampalubag-loob daw yung share buyback program, 'no? Dahil dun sa lower earnings and revenues. So, that's that. Parang parang yun yung main message 'no, na na-receive ng market with what NVIDIA is doing. So, this created the risk of contagion in tech sector and semicon. So, later tignan natin yung performance ng tech sector pati SMH. So now let's look at the SPY. So technical notes ko diyan basically, the SPY is now building up near all-time high levels. Yan, nagbi-build up tayo near all-time high levels at around 565. So dalawa lang yan eh. Dalawa lang yan. Bull case, high probability na magkakaroon tayo ng continuation. So this is the first leg. This is the continuation pattern. So if we break above, we might create a 3 to 5 day momentum, bullish momentum run up or a continuation leg up, di ba? So bear case, if we break below the 10-day moving average, pwedeng maging double top reversal to. Tama? So mukhang double top, hindi natin alam, but let's be open to that possibility. Di ba? So, one good thing na nakita natin with the SPY is it showed a volume spike in relative volume on Friday. So, tignan natin dito, on Friday. So, around 1.5 R vol yung pinakita nito. 1.13 R vol. Basically above the usual volume average. Tapos Friday candle and it's a bullish candle. So, that is signaling na bulls are committed, no? Or committed yung mga buyers for the week. With the S&P 500 index. So next is the Qs. So right now it's creating a wedge at the flattening 50-day moving average. So looking at the Qs, it's flattening or actually wedging, creating a wedge or a channel kung ano man gusto nating itawag dyan near the 50-day moving average. So dalawa lang yan eh. Bull case, break above, 'di ba? Break above this wedge, we might test the 500 level or the 480 gap area no, as resistance. So bear case, if we break below this 470 swing low support level, then we might test the 100-day moving average as support. So dalawa lang siya. But right now, looking at the Qs and its underlying components, madaming emerging setups with the Qs or yung mga Nasdaq 100 names. So, if mag-materialize yung mga setups na yun, halos pare-parehas lang yun. Magkakamukha lang, mga wedge pops, mga ganyan, mga continuation flags. Basically, a continuation pattern, no? So, meron kang first leg and a continuation pattern. So, that's the Qs. Next, MDY. So, looking at MDY, so we are above the rising 10-day moving average. Diba? So, we are above the 10-day moving average and consolidating near resistance level. So, that's also showing some bullish characteristics in terms of price action. So, bull case natin with the MDY, dalawa lang yan. Bull case for MDY is if we break above 570, may possibility we might create a 3 to 5 day bullish momentum run. No? So, all-time high play itong MDY. So, if we break above this level, we might test the 600 psychological area. Bear case for MDY, a break below the 10-day moving average will possibly create a retest again at the 550 key level. So looking at MDY, looking at mid caps. So dalawa nga lang din 'yan, 'di ba? Break above, next level is 600 or 590 muna syempre, 590. Then if it breaks below the 10-day, next support is 550 or itong gap area na 'to, itong gap na 'to. So we shall see. So seasonality-wise, actually MDY is weak on September. Yan oh, negative 2.18% down. For this is the 10-year seasonality of MDY. Negative 2.18% on average and 22% of the time lang positive tong MDY. May mga ano din, may mga outlier months like nung 2019, 2017. So we shall see. Actually 2019, ito yung start ng rate cutting cycle and nung 2017 rate cutting cycle. So maybe baka ganun din yung mangyari this month if we break above 570. Di natin alam. Di natin alam. But based on history, yun yung nakikita kong pattern right now. Yun, same with small caps, 'di ba? Same with small caps. You're consolidating your resistance level. Seasonality-wise, negative 2.17% din for the month of September for the past 10 years on average, 'di ba? 33% of the time lang positive yung IWM or small caps. So dalawa lang din 'yan, break above this wedge or triangle kung ano man gusto natin itawag diyan. Then we might break out of this key level, tong resistance at 225, 224. If we break above this level, next area is 240. Yun yung next resistance area. So yun yung measured ano natin, measured target from this first leg up. Okay, so that's IWM. Pretty much same charts lang din with MDY. Excuse. So pasensya na, medyo nubo tayo pati sinisipon. Yun. Bottom line for the week, in our index analysis, it's either September seasonality will hit and the bear case on our major indices will materialize, or we might experience a bullish continuation if the markets will like the upcoming PMI data and labor market data this week. So we have high impact news for the week. ISM manufacturing PMI on Tuesday, Wednesday JOLTS, job openings, Thursday services PMI, and Friday NFP pati unemployment data. So mga high impact news. So if magustuhan ng market yan, maybe yun yung mag-trigger for a continuation na run up. If hindi, pag may signs of recessionary data, most likely we might experience the September seasonality, which is a negative seasonality. So ito yung seasonality natin for the SPY 10-year seasonality. Negative 2.26% on average yung ano natin with the SPY. Then 44% of the time lang positive yung S&P 500 for the month of September. Okay. So seasonality lang naman yan. It's not a guarantee, it's only probabilities. Or probabilities, yeah. Probability na we might be down for the month of September. But it does not guarantee na we will experience a down month for this September. Okay, moving on. Ano yung mga sectors and industry groups and highlight? So let's start with growth and value, pati na rin yung market cap segments natin. So headlines natin dito or main points natin dito. Value outperforms growth in all market cap segments. So clear as day, we have S&P 500 value, mid-cap value, pati na rin yung ano natin. Saan ba yun? Basically, mid-cap value and S&P 500 value, large cap and mid-caps is value names are leading versus or outperforming versus growth names or yung mga growth counterparts na. So large cap S&P 500 names outperform mid caps and small caps. So we can see that the SPY-V or SPY or large cap names or large cap groups segments are outperforming. They're outperforming mid caps and small caps. So SPY-G, large cap growth, showed significant spike at the weekly close. So SPY-G, tignan natin yung SPY-G, saan yan. So daily change ng Friday, 1% up on a Friday. So may initial na tayo, may initial momentum na tayo na experience. So it's possibly signaling a rotation toward growth for the upcoming week, for this week basically. So that's that. So bottom line, if you will rotate toward growth names, focus on large caps as it already produced an initial bullish momentum last Friday. But overall, focus pa rin tayo on value names and value segments and large caps no in general. But be open din dun sa quotation, potential quotation. Excuse. So let's look at the sectors. Main points natin dito are the following. So financial, industrials, healthcare, and materials outperforms this week. Most possibly dahil din dun sa GDP data report, pati dun sa PC inflation, no, na in line siya with the expectations. So all else came in flat. Top loser for the week is XLC Communications. So 8 out of 11 sectors are above the 70% level in terms of the BTP composite scores. So it's now showing us na bullish halos lahat ng sectors. No? Halos lahat ng S&P 500 sector. So top sectors in terms of BTP relative strength and trend composite scores are the following: XLF, XLI, XLU, XLV, and XLRE. So looking at the trend configuration, all sectors are above their 10, 20, 50, and 200-day moving average. So all clear. We're in a bullish market environment. So if we're gonna scan each S&P 500 sectors, ito yung mga emerging sector setups na nakikita ko. So XLRE is creating this 7-day coil above a rising 10-day MA. So may setups tayo nakikita in real estate names. XLE is creating this possible bear trap or RTL breakout. We don't know. But may potential break above 100-day moving average tayo dito for XLE. So XLP is also coiling. It's also coiling near the 10-day moving average, no? A rising 10-day moving average. And all moving averages are trending upward. So that's XLP, consumer staples. XLK is creating this wedge, no? Wedge channel, kung ano man gusto nating tawag dito, towards the 100-day moving average. So mukhang Qs, di ba? Mukhang Nasdaq 100 yung chart niya. So if we break above this level, we might test this 240 resistance area. So we have a potential setup in XLP. Bottom line, itong mga setups na to in sectors, look for continuation plays on strongest sectors or look for emerging setups in XLP, XLK, XLE, and XLRE. As these indices are consolidating or about to break out of their trading ranges. So, kumbaga may bullish setups tayo nakikita in the sectors. So, better na maghanap ka na lang ng mga underlying components in the sector. Or pwede rin, if you want to trade the ETF on its own, then go ahead. If tinatamad ka on picking stock. So, in terms of industry groups, so just go to this link para makita mo yung natin, in-depth market dashboard natin. So, basically, ito yan. Dito yan sa industry groups natin, market groups. So, ito yung natin, no? Top market groups. So, kinopy-paste ko na lang dito sa spreadsheet sa document natin, no? So, headline natin dito is that defensive and value-related market groups is now leading the pack, no? Such as financial and health-related names. Tulad ng mga property and casualty insurance, cybersecurity, regional banks, pharma names, no? So, we also saw strong momentum in aerospace defense and transportation groups. So, aerospace and defense for the week, up ng 2%. Ano ba yun? Transportation up din ng 1.14%. 1.22% pala. Ay, tama ba? Ito pala dito yan. 1.14%. And passenger airlines are up by around 2.58% for the week. Okay. So that's our industry groups. Top losers, oil and gas, mining, nuclear, renewables, cannabis, broadline retail dahil doon sa Dollar General na earnings release, Dollar General, DG. So down niya ng more than ano ba yun? More than 10% ata. Yan, no? So gap down, no? Hindi nagustuhan ng market yung earnings release. EPS is way below expectation, revenue growth is way below expectation. So, medyo nagpapakita na rin ng weakness yung mga consumer-related, names natin 'no. So, -32% pala, sorry, not -10%. Pre-market, post-market -10%, I remember. So yun, blockchain is also down for the week, broadline retail, are down for the week. IPOs and gold miners as well. So medyo odd lang 'to 'no, gold miners, are down for the week, pero XAU or gold is still consolidating near all-time high levels. So medyo quite odd lang siya for me. Actually, na-stopped out ako with one gold miner name, KGC. So, gano'n talaga, kahit na maganda yung underlying commodity, doesn't mean na magma-materialize yun with proxy trade. It was a gold proxy trade 'tong KGC. But meron namang emerging setup, eh. Puwedeng mag-create ng wedge pop din 'to or channel breakout. So, I'm just gonna put a rebuy alert at around 9.20 area. So, break above $10, so that's a round number area. So, that may create a strong rally again for this name. So, near all-time high din 'to KGC. Okay, so that's that. So another another industry group na gusto kong i-highlight is renewables. So PBW, PBW, yan, tignan natin. Although na downtrending pa rin and stuff, may mga nakikita tayong emerging setup like for solar, yan. So it's now consolidating above the 100-day moving average. So 1 hour time frame, meron niyang channel. So a break above the channel may resume its, trend 'no. So bigger picture, it's basically a retest. So coming from this reaccumulation base or reaccumulation pattern, nag-breakout siya, nag-retest, although medyo sadistic retest 'to, 'di ba? Medyo nag-go below 100-day moving average muna, nag-recover, nag-consolidate. So if this materialize 'no, properly, a break above 240, then next resistance area is at 285. Yun. So that's, one of the special mentions in industry groups. So what happened under the hood? Let's look at the internals, market internals and market breadth. So hindi lang nagana yung ating market swing monitor. We are experiencing some, difficulties in this, sheet. So let's just look at MMTW and MMFI. So MMTW 'no, percent of stocks above the 20-day moving average, remains elevated at 70% level. So, this is typical 'no, lalong-lalo na on markets near all-time high. So, it remains elevated 'tong MMTW natin. Usually kasi 'pag nandito na tayo sa overbought level, nagba-bounce below na tayo, eh, or parang nagdo-drop below na ulit tayo dito, eh. It's producing a mean reversion event. So, let's see 'no, if this materialize tulad nito, we don't know. If ganyan yung mangyari, we might experience another pullback. So, that's that. Right now, MTW is showing na, bulls are in control, 'di ba? Since most stocks are above their 20-day moving average. MMFI tells us that, in terms of the medium-term bread or market internal, there is a gradual increase in stocks reaching their 50-day moving average. So, it's coiling, okey naman siya. Above the 50% level, you have a rising 10-day moving average, 50-day moving average, and 20-day moving average. So may possibility we might break above this 76% level and create a multi-week run-up. Yun yung bull case, no? Bear case, break below this level, 64% level, then we might experience another pullback, no? So bottom line, short term, we are overbought. But as long as MMFI does not go beyond 70% level, 'di ba? We are still in a constantly rotating bull market. So all bull markets, ang lifeblood niyan is rotation, sector rotation. So looking at our internals, looking at our indices, basically pati sectors, industry groups, momentum swing plays remains in the menu. 'di ba? Parang tuloy-tuloy lang. Focus ka on momentum swing plays, mga continuation patterns, mga power earnings gap plays, mga delayed entries on post-earnings dip plays. Nagma-materialize siya, right now 'no. So, later pakita ko yung mga setups na, nakikita ko. So, ang kailangan mo lang gawin diyan is to focus on strong market groups, siyempre of course, and sectors. So, now let's prepare for the week ahead. So, nakita na natin yung nangyari. Nakita na natin yung nangyari and, it's now guiding us, for the week ahead. But before that 'no, let's look at the macro benchmarks muna. So, looking at the dollar pati yields. So, it's now bouncing off at their support levels. So, it may serve as headwinds 'no, for the week ahead. Etong ano natin, itong DXY pati yields. So, rising dollar strength is bad for equities. Rising yields is also bad for equities. So, it's now bouncing off at the support level. Pero siyempre ang ayaw din naman natin is a sharp move downward 'no, for the yields pati na rin sa dollar strength. 'Wag lang sharp move downward. So, as long as nagka-counter rally tapos nagko-consolidate or sideways, I think, wala siyang masyadong effect with equities. So, now let's look at Fed liquidity. So, Fed liquidity breaks below the support trend line, which may be a leading signal for a risk off environment in risk assets. So, 'di ba, ang ideal, um, macro signal natin or liquidity signal natin is dapat umangat yung liquidity, for it to serve as a tailwind for equities. So right now, it's now signaling, a leading signal for a risk of environment since we are breaking below the support line. Yan, yung support line na yan. So ayaw natin yan, 'di ba? But, since it's a month end, usual action naman yan every month end. Tulad nung July, to August, August to September right now, 'di ba? May mga big drops in liquidity. So, ang nakita natin recently is that, uh, typical ano siya, typical end of month rebalancing siya, with a reverse repo facility. So, sa ano, RR Bonds YD, 'yan. So, rising RR Bonds YD or reverse repo facility is, um, creating a liquidity drain in terms of, overall liquidity. Excuse. 'Yan. So that's that. Now, let's proceed with gold. Gold continues to consolidate and tighten above the rising 10-day moving average. So normal lang naman 'yan. And as long as nagko-consolidate tayo diyan, may possibility mag-breakout tayo diyan. Bear case is we break below this, 10-day moving average. Next support level is at 2.5K. At 2.450. 'Yan dito, 2.450. Dito sa area na 'yan. So that's gold, 'no? So just trade GLD if you want to trade gold. Just buy GLD. So looking at US oil, our inflationary benchmark, it remains in a trading range. Wala masyadong effect yan with the market right now. As long as it's in a range, wag lang na tipong umangat ng sobrang lakas, wag lang tipong bumagsak ng sobrang lakas. Now, let's discuss high impact news for the week ahead. So napakita na natin yan ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings, services PMI and labor data, NFP and unemployment rate. So yun yung in focus this week, PMI and jobs data. And, my main remark for this is as long as there are no surprising data, that will signal a recession, everything may go well for risk assets, for equities, for crypto. Although medyo nag-decouple na yung crypto right now, eh. I'm not sure if leading signal ba yun for risk off, with the equities. We shall see, 'no? Medyo odd yun, medyo odd right now. So later discuss natin din yun. So for the first half of the week, my expectations or bias is neutral to slightly bullish. Since we ended the week, last Friday, strongly, meron tayong volume spike, bullish candle close on a Friday. Then we might experience some continuation 'no, for the first half of the week. So, as long as the manufacturing PMI is in line with expectation and walang anything recessionary, then ayun, we might experience, some follow-through bullishness till Wednesday. So, on Wednesday, JOLTS job openings will be released. So, 'wag lang mag-drop drastically yung job openings, 'no? So, expectations is 8.10 M. So, if it goes below 8 M, ibig sabihin there's something wrong um, with the labor market, 'no, or jobs market. Ibig sabihin ayaw na mag-hire ng mga companies. Most likely kasi na-experience na nila yung, uh, some some recessionary effects, something like that. So, services PMI Thursday. So, may bias for the second half of the week is neutral to slightly bearish. So, services PMI, yan yung critical data point din talaga, no? Since, the US economy is a services-based economy. So, a big drop below in terms of, services PMI, that will be bad for equities, for risk assets. So, ideally 51.5 yung data, 'di ba? Slightly above the previous month. Ang ayaw natin mag-go below 50. If it goes below 50, that might trigger a sell-off in equities in the stock market. So, on Friday, we'll be having non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. So, consensus is 163K, higher than the previous month, and a slight drop in unemployment rate. So, ang ayaw natin diyan is a big spike in unemployment rate, tipong 4.5%, 4.6%. If that happens, mukhang magkakaroon na mukhang ma-experience nga natin yung September seasonality, negative seasonality. So, in line with that, 'no, since Friday, siya release. Markets might de-risk on Thursday ahead of Friday's NFP and unemployment rate data release. So, for earnings, ito yung mga top earnings releases or significant, earnings releases for the week. Actually onti na lang, 'no. In terms of industry tally, majority of the earnings na ma-release this week are coming from tech sector, semiconductors, tapos may isang discount store and others. Okay, so for Monday up to Tuesday, before the bell, walang masyadong significant earnings release. So on Tuesday PM after the bell, we'll be having Zscaler, GitLab. For Wednesday before the bell, $3, parang Dollar General din yan. Wednesday after the bell, Pop Art, HPE, and then Credo yung earnings releases for Wednesday. For Thursday after the bell, Avgo, DocU, and IoT. So Avgo is a semicon name, so expect some volatility or spillover in semiconductor names. If hindi magustuhan ng market yung earnings ni Avgo, then that's gonna be bad for semiconductors. So just access this link if you want to look at the earnings releases or yung mga earnings drop for the week. So, tapos na tayo dun. Tapos na tayo dito sa pag-prepare with the US market. Now, let's look at the setups and focus. So, just copy-paste this in a TradingView watch list. So, all stocks selected are from strongest market groups and sectors. Pati na rin dun sa market bias natin on the potential rotation on growth names or continuation of current top market groups. So, dito lang natin i-discuss 'to sa video na 'to, itong mga top setups and focus natin. Yan, yung mga in focus names natin. Okay, so starting with SN. So, meron na ako nito. Nakabili ako at around 89.40. Tapos may stops was around 87.70, mga gano'n. So, right now it's creating a continuation leg towards 1618 level or $100. So, if wala ka pa nito, maybe just wait for a retest. So, siyempre ayoko mag-retest yan, 'di ba? Kasi may hawak ako nito. But you can look at the lower time frame, 'no? May mga consolidation pattern na tradable dito sa 30-minute time frame. Tulad nito, no? Yung mga inside bar setups, this is an inside bar setup, another inside bar setup. So, pwede mong i-trade yung mga ganyang setup. If you are proficient in the lower time frame, continuation trades. So, another name is the trade desk. So, actually, meron na ako nito since the breakout of this earnings candle high. So, I'm just trend following TTD up to 110 or 114. So, it's a clear 3 to 1 for me. Next is Payoneer. So, Payoneer is a position play. Looking at the bigger picture, it's a transition toward markup phase, di ba? So, this is a classic IPO accumulation base, tulad nung food example natin. So, I have Payoneer at this area. So, nakabili ako at the breakout of 6.98 or $7. So, stops ko is at 6.8. So, that's Payoneer. So, if you want to trade this, you can buy the retest, no, at 7.2. So, next is Monday. So, may nasingit pa lang ano dito, mga PSE names. So, later may mga PSE names din tayong di-discuss. So, next is Monday. So, nag-ano din siya, nagta-transition na rin siya to a markup phase. Looking at the bigger picture, nag-IPO, nag-rally, nag-decline, nag-accumulate. Multiple times it tested to break above this resistance area. And right now, finally transitioning to a markup phase. So, Monday is hovering above the 10-day moving average. So, actually, wala pa ako netong Monday. So, I want to buy the 266 breakout, no? So, lower time frame, breakout na siya sa wedge, eh. Breakout na siya dito sa wedge na 'to. Right now, it's producing this, classic, coil pattern after a channel breakout. Yan. Ito yung channel na sinasabi ko, yan. So, 'di ba nag-ano siya, nag-rally siya after earnings. So, EPS beat, revenue beat, ganda yung ano niya, earnings niya, and maganda rin yung reaction ng market. Nag-pullback lang ng konti, right now it's resuming its trend. So, that's Monday. That's one setup. Next is Axon, also a pullback after a power earnings gap play. So, after earnings release, on August, double beat din. Maganda yung earnings reaction ng market. Gapped up, moved higher, created the first leg, now pulling back towards the anchored view up, no, at the earnings. So right now, may biases, maybe it's gonna break above the 10-day moving average and resume its trend, or it's a 20-day moving average kiss and rally. So kiss and rally siya na setup. Kikiss lang yung 20-day and then it's gonna proceed to rally. So bear case, break below a VWAP, then stop out ako. So meron na ako nito, Axon. Next is C1. Also a power earnings gap play. Power earnings gap play. Although delayed entry na, no? So after earnings, nag-gap up, moved higher, nag-create ng pullback, kissed the 10-day, proceeded to continue upward. The next target is the 1618 level. So basically, since di pa niya na-reach yung 1618 level, ang ginawa ko, I traded this channel towards the 10-day moving average. So lower time frame, produce this mini channel. So pagka-breakout, nag-enter ako, stops ko is at 24, so it's a tight stop. Then ibebenta ko lang at around 26. So it's a 2.5:1 trade. So next is Duke. So Duke Energy. So under XLE. XLE ba to? XLU. I think XLU. So sorry, medyo nakakati yung lalamunan ko. Excuse. So Duke, at all-time high siya. It's transition, it's actually on a markup phase, di ba? So, typical accumulation pattern, reaccumulation pattern, and breakout, producing this continuation pattern. And right now, it's breaking above this candle high, di ba? And bouncing off, or after the kiss dito sa 20-day moving average, it's now rallying. So, hindi lang ako na-fill dito, no? Nag-set ako ng limit order at 130, hindi na ako na-fill. Yan, with Duke Energy. So, let's see, no, if it continues. So, pwede ka naman enter at this level, widen mo yung stops mo, malaki pa rin yung reward risk, 4.0:1 reward risk. So, targets is at around 120, 123. So, ano siya 'no, confluence between, the 1618 level of this accumulation pattern and the 1618 level of this first leg. So, dalawang ano 'no, take profit areas. So, yung mga buyers from this accumulation pattern will most likely take profit at 124, 123. Same with, the buyers at this first leg up. Tama. So, that's Duke Energy. Next is First Solar. So, napakita ko na yung setup na yun. Basically, it's a wedge pop, no? It's testing the 100-day moving average support. So, 1 hour time frame setup din siya. So, a wedge pop, buy on breakout, stops most likely at around 222. So, that's for solar. So, it's retesting the previous all-time high level. 'Di ba? Mukhang cup and handle, mukhang inverse head and shoulder. Not sure. Actually, mukhang complex inverse head, no? So, meron tayong head dito. We have multiple left shoulder, right shoulder. So, if mag-breakout dito, maybe it's gonna break the neckline. So, that's for solar. Next is CLAC, KLAC. So, let's look at the daily time frame. It's at an all-time high. It's on a strong uptrend on the daily, even the weekly time frame. We're above the 20 MA of the weekly time frame. Nag-retest lang sa 50-week moving average. Now resuming its uptrend. Excuse. So right now, it's creating this coil above the 50-day moving average. So if it breaks above this coil, conservative target mo na is at around 900, 896. So if you're gonna trade this, 'di ba? Kahit stops mo, low of day, targets mo at this level, 2:1 reward risk na rin 'yan, no? In just a few days maybe. Let's see. Pero that's the setup, I'm seeing with KLAC. Next is Eli Lilly. So after earnings, it moved higher, creating this first leg. Right now, it's consolidating near all-time high level. So breakout of the all-time high level will most likely resume its uptrend. Although medyo wild lang na ano 'to 'no, na RSI bear div, 'di ba? So, this is our reference high. Ito, yung high na yan. This is the RSI high. Right now, this is the next swing high reference, no? Right now, we are, tawag dito, seeing a type B RSI bear div. Same levels of high, then lower high in RSI. So, may pent-up supply tayong nakikita no, with Eli Lilly. Or underlying weakness with the buyers or with the bulls. Pero syempre price still confirms. If mag-breakout yan dyan, then it's gonna be a continuation setup. Next target mo dyan, most likely is at around 1060 area. So that's Eli Lilly. No? So a healthcare name. Next is GLDD. GLDD is an engineering name, a small cap play. So itong trade na 'to, nakita ko siya as a transition towards a markup phase. So this is a classic Wyckoff accumulation, tama? So nag-breakout siya after earnings. Well, actually not after earnings. After earnings, nag-consolidate, nag-continue to move higher after a breakout of this structure resistance, no? Or this swing high level. Right now, it's testing the previous resistance as support. So my trade with GLDD is a lower time frame continuation pattern. So this is the first leg, ito yung continuation pattern. Targets ko is at 1180, 11.8. So it's a clear T.3:1 trade. So that's GLDD, as a swing play, no, basically. Next is Marvel. So sadly, na-stopped out ako dito with my day 1 play. So ang ginawa ko dito, no, makuwento ko lang. So, binili ko 'tong ano, flag breakout na 'yan, flag breakout na 'to. So, my target is at the 1618 target at $80. So, kinuha ko 'tong ano, area na 'yan. So, ito yung panahon na na-release ang earnings. Ito yung swing high, post market, create ng flag, breakout, binili ko. Ang problem dito is hindi ako nakapag-tranche out 'no, nung na-reach yung +2 or, multiple ko. So, yun yung ano, problema. Nag-ano ako, nag-switch ako to passive management in day one plays since, I'm on a win streak with day one plays. So, nag-switch ako to passive management. Tipong pagka-enter, meron akong TP, meron akong stop loss, then hahayaan ko na. So, usually kasi yung ginagawa ko with day one plays ah, tapos ganitong ano, malakas yung market is nagbebenta ako in tranches, nagbebenta ako in tranches. So, nag-switch ako to passive management since ayun nga may profit buffer naman and I think mai-hit yung $80, pagka-open. Pagka ako na first surge, mase-sell all ko siya then I'm done for the day. Although nangyari dito on the first 5 minutes, I got stopped out. Ayun, that's that, Marvel. I'm gonna rebuy this if it breaks above this box pattern. So, a day 2 play for Marvel. So, if you're not familiar with day 1 plays and earnings plays, don't touch this. Don't touch Marvel, don't touch MDB. So, dito na tayo sa Primoris Corporation. So, it's a base breakout 'no, basically. So, it's a reaccumulation pattern, near all-time high. Looking at the weekly time frame, nasa all-time high level tayo actually or near all-time high. May, tama ba? Or oo, tama, near all-time high. Akala ko meron akong may left side resistance pa tayo due to this, horizontal area. So, if it breaks above this resistance area, next target is $63 eh. So, a 5-to-1 trade, 5-is-to-1 trade. So, ang ginawa ko dito, I bought the breakout of this continuation pattern, intraday continuation pattern. Stops ko is slightly below this swing low level. Then targets ko is 1618. Actually, hindi ka pa naman late with the setup. Pwede ka pang bumili. Hindi pa naman siya nagbe-breakout. Wala pa tayo dun sa momentum state with Prim. Okay, so that's Prim. Next is MPWR, Monolithic Power. So it's a continuation pattern as well. After earnings, it created the first leg. Now creating this continuation pattern. So same setups. Next is APH. A semicon name, electronic component name. So, created this first leg, no, after this big decline. Now consolidating above the 50-day moving average. Although declining 50-day moving average pa yan. Basically, if mag-breakout dito sa coil na yan, next target is at $70 eh. $70 to $70.6. So, maybe it's a clear 3-to-1, 4-to-1 risk reward. Actually, 2-to-1 lang 'no, if i-wi-widen natin yung stops natin. But let's look at the lower time frame. Oh, tight stop, maliit pa rin yung reward risk. So, if you're gonna swing trade this, kailangan mabilis ka mag-ano tranche out. So, sell on strength ka. So, that's APH. Next is Zebra. So, also a continuation play, 'di ba? After earnings, nag-create siya ng ganito 'no. Nag-gap up, medyo bearish siya candle close, moved lower. So, itong setup na 'to is a bear trap 'no, earnings bear trap. So, ito yung earnings candle, nag-gap fill, moved lower, tested the 100-day. Right now, it's testing this earnings candle low. So, nagre-recover na siya dito sa key level na 'yan. So, if it recovers above 350, maybe it's gonna continue to move, upward 'no. So, that's Zebra. It's also transitioning to a markup phase, no? So, that's a good development with this name, 'di ba? But a transition toward a markup phase will create a strong rally, 'di ba? So it's a large cap name. Next is EXR. EXR. So isa-isahin ba natin to? Ang dami. So also a continuation pattern play. So alam nyo na yan. May first leg. It's now creating this coil. It's kissing the 10-day moving average. Breakout above that. Then next target is most likely 185. Or just measure the swing low to swing high area. Then 1618 is at 193. So ano siya, no? In confluence with this resistance area. So that's EXR. An XLRE name. XLRE name. Next is SPG. So a property name as well. A REIT, basically. So after this base, nag-breakout, moved higher, now creating this coil, di ba? Creating this coil, and now kissing the 10-day moving average. So, if mag-kiss and rally siya, next target mo is at 175. So, diskartehan mo na lang with your stops. Next is KMPR. An insurance insurance name. Also transitioning to a markup phase. So, coming from this accumulation phase, right now it's consolidating your resistance. Although medyo may reservations pa ako with this setup. Pero, ang nakikita ko kasi dito is an earnings candle high breakout eh. So, tingnan natin yung earnings candle. So, na-release after the bell. So, this is the earnings reaction candle. So, breakout of an earnings release candle will most likely proceed to continue to move upward. So, breakout above this level, most likely $68 na yung next target mo. Madali na mababasag yan, most likely. So, that's KMPR. Nasa malakas na market group yan. Yan. So, KMPR. Nasa KBWP yan. So, that's another setup. Next is Radware. So, it's a power earnings gap play and a coil, no? Or a box continuation. Kung ano man gusto natin itawag dyan. So, after earnings release, gap up, moved higher, proceeded to consolidate, no? So, it's now kissing the 20-day moving average. So, once it breaks above this wedge, then it may continue to move upward or continue to move to the upside. Yan. So, next target is at 25.50, 25.60. May next key level ba tayo dyan? Most likely dito, no? Sa swing high na to. So, may confluence naman with another swing high. So, ito yung take profit area mo if ever mag-materialize to. So, that's Radware. Maganda ba yung earnings niya? 25% EPS beat, revenue beat, okay naman. Although a small cap, no? So, if you're gonna trade this, babaan mo yung VAR mo, tipong 0.2%, 0.33% VAR for this trade. Pero, ganda ng setup eh, di ba? May 30-minute wedge ka or channel, then a breakout of this channel, next target mo nga is the $26 area. So, that's Radware. Next is PanW. PanW. Excuse. So, PanW is creating this power earnings gap bear trap or Wyckoff spring. So, ito yung ano natin, di ba? Earnings candle. Yan. Wait lang. So, na-release yung earnings after the bell, EPS beat, revenue beat, gapped up, moved higher. A few days later, nag-break below the earnings candle low. Dyan. Then, recovered. So, ideal entry mo is dapat yung recovery above the earnings candle low eh. But, right now, it's now continuing to move upward, trailing the 10-day or rising 10-day moving average. So, if you're gonna trade this, look at the lower time frame. Antay ka ng conso pattern at the lower time frame. Pwedeng ito, breakout dyan, bilhin mo, stops mo slightly below 353. Targets mo is 1:1 ng earnings candle measure. Diba? Measured target. So, next target is at 390. Pwede mo gawing 400. Sarado mo sa round number area na yun. So, that's PanW. At 2.8 is to 1 reward risk trade. Next is AppLovin. So, AppLovin is ano ba 'to, a software name. Tignan natin yung bigger picture. Nasa resistance area na tayo, 'di ba? Resistance area. But good thing with AppLovin is eto, 'di ba, after earnings, it created the first leg. Right now, it's producing this continuation pattern. Actually, nag-breakout na siya sa con pattern, eh. Ito yung con pattern natin, 'tong box na 'yan. So, puwede kang bumili at 92, stops mo ilagay mo at 87, targets mo, most likely is at wait lang, 116, 117. So, most likely, it's gonna break out or test this swing high level or all-time high level dito sa 117. So, ilagay mo lang sa 114 pala, 114 instead of dito sa 1618 area. So, that's uplovin, a continuation pattern play. So, ano yan, most likely 5 to 1, 4 to 1 reward risk. Next is CBRE, a 10-day moving average kiss and rally as well. So, after earnings, it created this first leg, proceeded to pull back, continued to move higher after the pullback. Then, right now, it's creating this Conso pattern. So, ano yung pwede mong gawin dyan? Breakout of this Conso pattern. Stops mo slightly below 113. Next target mo is at 124, 125. Let's look at the bigger picture. CBRE, may resistance areas pa ba tayo may experience? Mukhang wala na. So, laking base na 'to 'no, laking base na 'to. So, since 2022 nagko-consolidate na pala siya. So, nasa all-time high level ka. So, 'pag all-time high, path of least resistance above $100, fresh transition above the $100. So, may room for growth pa 'tong CBRE. So, CBRE is real estate name. Next is CBU. Ilang oras na ba akong nagsasalita dito? 39 minutes. So, CBU is also creating this continuation pattern. So, after or before earnings, nag-rally na yan, eh. After earnings, nag-ano siya, nag-pullback siya. So, right now, may possibility na dina-digest na lang yung earnings release and then it's gonna continue to move higher again. So, CBU, let's look at the bigger picture. It's also transitioning to a markup phase. Actually, it's on a markup phase. Ito yung accumulation phase natin, no? Yan. Yun yung accumulation structure natin. Nag-create ng first base. It's now creating a first base, actually. So, if it breaks above this level, targets mo is at 67. Right now, it's creating this mini coil. Let's look at the lower time frame, CBU. It's a mini coil. So, breakout of this Conso pattern. Stops mo, ilagay mo at $60. Sarado mo at the round number. Targets mo at 1618. You're gonna have a 3 to 1 reward risk trade for CBU. Kung 1618 lang yung target mo. 200% level target, 71 level. 15% gain from this area. A much conservative target, itong 1618. Next is DHI, a home builder name. Okay, so let's look at DHI at an all-time high on the daily time frame, even weekly time frame. Clear, uptrend, wala tayong left side resistance, and right now it's creating this continuation pattern. So this is the first leg, no? This is the first leg after this earnings reaction. Then it's now creating this Conso pattern. So let's look at the lower time frame. Mukhang meron tayong nakikitang wedge dito. Ang wedge, channel, 'di ba? So pwedeng breakout of this swing high area, 188, 189. Stops mo, ilagay mo dito. Targets mo, ilagay mo at around $200, the next round number area. 200. Sa clear 2.7 is to 1 trade. So that's DHI. Next is Goldman Sachs, a financial name. It's also consolidating near all-time high level. So if it breaks above this all-time high level, next target mo most likely is at 560. So tulad nitong pattern na yan. So kunwari mag-breakout dito, is 560 na yung target mo na next. So that's Goldman Sachs. Next is KB Home. Tulad lang ng DHI, mukhang nagko-consolidate, 'di ba? Mukhang double top, may possibility maging double top 'yan. Pero, it's hovering above the 10-day, the rising 10-day moving average. So, breakout of this level at around 86.30, next target mo is at $96. So, that's KBH. Lennar, also a home builder name. It's also doing a 10-day kiss and rally, 10-day MA kiss and rally setup. So, pullback lang, created this first leg. Right now, creating this mini pullback, testing this previous resistance to support. So, if it breaks above this channel or wedge, kung ano man gusto natin tawag dito, then it's gonna continue to move upward. Yan. So, set lang ako na ulit dito. Greater than. Yan. So, that's Len. Next is Katos, an aerospace and defense name. So, consolidating near all-time high level. So, it's a continuation pattern in the making as well. So, this is the first leg. It's now creating this continuation pattern. So, a break above 23.20, 23.13. Then, it's gonna produce a possible 10% run up towards the 1618 level. So, tingnan natin. Saan ba yung ano natin tool? Yan. 12% run up. So, pwede mo i-tighten yung stops mo. Gawin mong 22.2 or slightly below this level. Then targets mo is at 26. Okay, so that's Katos. Next is MHK. So, looking at the bigger picture, at the weekly time frame, we are above the 10-week MA, no? At the same time, 20, 50, and 100 week moving averages are trending upward. So, bulls are in control on the weekly, at the same time on the daily as well. So, looking at the bigger picture again, nasang market cycle ba tayo or market phase tayo with MHK? So, we are at the early stage markup, no? So, coming from this Wyckoff accumulation, mukhang inverse head, 'di ba? So, meron tayong head, 2 left shoulder, 3 right shoulder. So, it's a complex inverse head, no? So, we are at an uptrend, fresh markup phase. And this is the first base, no? So, after earnings, okay, EPS beat, revenue miss slightly, pero the market responded well with the earnings. So, it gapped up, moved higher, moved lower, pulled back towards the 20-day moving average, undercutted this earnings candle low. So this is a classic Wyckoff spring at after a post-earnings announcement lift or power earnings gap. So nag-recover above this earnings candle low and it is continuing to move higher. So right now, nag-aano siya, nagko-consolidate siya dito sa 50% level of this earnings candle. Or dito na lang din sa ano no, sa trading range na 'yan. So nagse-serve yung 50% level as support and the 10-day moving average. So drilling down on the lower time frame, mukhang may tradable coil tayo dito, no? So pwede natin gawin dito, buy on breakout ka in this box consolidation, stops mo slightly below this level at around 15190. Then targets mo is the next pattern target. So pwede mong gawin, measure the pattern of this trading range or measure this trading range, right? Then targets mo, conservative target is the 1618 level. So pwede mong isarado at the $180 area. So it's a clear 6.3 is to 1 reward risk if you will take this trade, no? And if it materialize, syempre. So that's MHK, one of our trade ideas. Next is PHM. PHM is a home builder name or home building name. So looking at the weekly time frame, we are above the 10, 20, 50, and 100 week moving averages and all are trending upward. We are in a clear uptrend and bulls are in control, di ba, sa PHM. And at the same time, we are PHM's in a good market group. It's in a favorable market group if interest rates are going lower. And with that, let's go to the daily time frame. So mukhang double top, right? Mukhang double top pattern. So it's a bearish reversal pattern. At the same time, we are forming an RSI bear div, di ba? It's a type B RSI bear div. So meron, actually, ano pala, type A. May higher high tayo dito eh. Higher high, then lower high in RSI. So it's a reversal pattern, but doesn't mean na may reversal pattern, maging close ka na dun sa probability na pwede pa siyang mag-move higher, 'di ba? So, nasa good market group, maganda yung fundamentals, maganda yung earnings niya, and it's forming this pullback dito sa 10-day moving average. So, usually kasi yung mga double top, parang ganito yung ano, parang ganito yung decline swing, hindi yung ganyan na, conservative move lower. Usually 'pag double top reversal, sharp sharp talaga siya, 'di ba? So, in this case, I'm considering this as a 10-day kiss and rally, 10-day MA kiss and rally setup. So, puwedeng ma-invalidate 'tong RSI bear div and it might move higher, 'no? So, that's PHM. It's under all-time high din. So, path of least resistance, wala kang masyadong break-even sellers. Profit takers lang, yung kalaban ng presyo ang kalaban ng presyo. So, coming from this, base, tignan natin yung mga pattern targets niya or measured targets. So, nasa 1618 resistance tayo. Next, resistance level is 140. So, yung mga bumili dito will most likely take profit, at the next level, dito sa 200% level at 143. So, if this moves higher, then you can sell at around 143. So, drilling down dito sa lower time frame, right? May makikita tayong parang pullback channel. So, it's a tradable pullback channel. Buy on breakout dito sa 50 MA sa 1 hour time frame. Buy on breakout ka dyan, then targets mo is the 143. So, let's put our long tool. Lagay natin yung stops natin at this swing low. Targets natin at 143. Meron tayong 3.2:1 reward risk for PHM. Okay, so that's PHM. Pero dapat mabilis ka din mag-cut dito, kasi it's, forming on RSI bear din. So next, PLTR on the weekly time frame. Let's look at the weekly time frame. So recently IPO'd stock. So 4 years ago nag-IPO siya around September 2020. Now testing the all-time high level, right? Although not yet the all-time high. So itong resistance area pa lang na 'to, key level na $30. Next key level is at 44. Yun yung pinaka-absolute, all-time high level niya, at around 44, gawin mo 45. So, let's look at the daily time frame. So, weekly time frame pala 'no, above the 10, 20, 50, and 100-week moving averages, and all are tending upward. So, in the weekly time frame, bulls are in control. At the daily time frame, we are below 10, but above 20, 50, and 100. So, from the short term up to the long term, bulls are in control except dito sa super short term MA natin, which is the 10-day moving average. So, let's look at the recent earnings, candle, no? So, earnings was released around August 5 after the bell. Double beat naman siya, EPS beat and revenue beat. What happened afterward? Next day, gapped up, moved higher, although medyo weak yung ano niya, earnings reaction niya. But it produced this, first leg up, nag-create ng initial leg up siya 'no, papunta sa $30, $31 even. So, after that, create siya ng pullback toward the 20-day moving average. So, right now, mukhang transitioning na siya ulit to another, swing higher. So, if mag-materialize 'to, so let's, measure our rally from this candle low to this candle high, or gawin mo na lang din parang ganito 'no, week to week na lang kung gusto mong aggressive target talaga. Pero if conservative target, put it into the body. So 1618 target is at $38, $38. So all-time high level niya is at 44. So ilagay natin yung resistance natin at 39 or 38. Since ito yung mga candle closes with PLTR. So mas significant key level yun, not the wick. So in confluence siya dito 'no, in confluence siya with the 1618 target or measured target for this, continuation leg up. So if mag-materialize yung continuation leg, of PLTR, next target is at 38. So let's look at the lower time frame if may tradable setup with PLTR. So after this channel breakout, ito yung pullback channel niya. After the pullback channel breakout, nagke-create siya ng coil. Para siyang ano, yung RTX trade natin, RTX trade. So nag-pullback, nag-coil, then it moved higher, right? Yan, ito yan. So after earnings, it moved higher, initial leg up, nag-pull back, nag-breakout sa coil, nag-breakout sa pullback channel, nag-coil, breakout sa coil, and then moved higher. So even reaching the 200% target. So mabalik lang tayo PLTR, most likely ganun din yung gagawin niya if mag-materialize syempre, 'di ba? Pero yun yung setup natin with this name. So you can set your stop slightly below this swing low level, then targets mo is at $38. Yan. So it's a 6:1 reward risk ratio trade for PLTR. So I'm gonna put my alert at this level. Okay, greater than. Then isa to sa mga gusto kong pag-focusan, PLTR. Recently IPO'd stock lang din. So moving on, let's look at SASR. So it's a regional banking name. So one of the strongest market groups yan, no? Uh, regional banks and major banks. Excuse. Yan. So balik tayo dito sa market groups natin. Yun, regional banks, major banks, yan yung mga top market groups natin. Although hindi pa nagko-compute, balik lang tayo dito. Yan, KBWB, regional banks. Yan yung mga ano natin, top market groups natin. Okay, so that's SASR. Actually, hindi ko pa pala discuss sa setup, sorry. So basically, mukha siyang nasa early stage markup. Ito yung Wyckoff accumulation natin, 'di ba? So this is the Wyckoff accumulation, resistance, nag-breakout siya, nag-retest at this resistance level, turn support. Then right now, it's creating this build-up pattern, no, at the resistance of the swing high level dito sa 3150. Ngayon, looking at the bigger picture, sa weekly time frame, we are above the 10-week moving average, 20-week moving average, and 50. Actually, all moving averages is doing fine except tong 100-week moving average na moving lower pa din or downsloping. So, ang sinasabi sa atin dito with the weekly time frame, bulls are in control pero may onting resistance pa tayo ma-experience coming from profit takers or break-even sellers sa 100-week moving average. So sa daily, we are above all time frames. 10 is above 20, 20 is above 50 and 100. So all clear, 'di ba? All clear on the daily time frame. So ang sinasabi sa atin dito, it's gonna be a short swing play lang only with SASR. So inside bar setup lang, daily time frame, buy on breakout ka dyan, or pwede buy on anticipation, then targets mo is simply at the 35 level, which is the 1618 measured target, no, of this decline swing. So ito yung trading range natin. Measured target is the 1618. It's a 2.5:1 reward risk. If i-widen mo yung stops mo. If you will be tightening your stops at around $30, 30.4, then 3:1 trade to. So most likely it's gonna be a 2 to 3 day play, no, if mag-breakout siya this week. So lastly, WAFB, another major banking name. So looking at the weekly time frame muna, no. Weekly time frame, medyo weird pa yung mga moving averages niya, but we are above the 10, 20, 50, and 100-week moving average. Although yung 50-week moving average mo is still below the 100-week moving average. So that's that, no. Daily time frame naman, we are above all key moving averages. Tulad lang ng SASR. Let's look at the current market cycle for WAFB. So we are possibly transitioning to a markup phase pa lang. So mukhang reaccumulation pattern to. A multi-year reaccumulation pattern starting 2017 na ata. So ang tagal ng sideways na itong name na to. So if this transitions to a markup phase, most likely malaking move nito. Tulad ng leg up, no, before earnings. So it's a pre-earnings swing play way back nung bandang kailan to? July 2024. So before earnings, nag-rally na siya. After earnings, it continued to create a leg up, then transition to a decline or pullback. So, nadamay 'to sa yen carry trade or yen carry flush, trade flush. So, after the flush, nag-recover it, created this V-shaped rally or V-shaped recovery. Then right now, it's consolidating above this swing high level. So, I think it's gonna be a 10-day moving average kiss and rally setup. So, once our 10-day moving average, catches up with the price, then most likely it's gonna move higher. So, 1 hour time frame, meron tayong Conso pattern or tight setup dito. Then ang gawin lang natin diyan, we can buy on anticipation dito, then stops natin is at this swing low level. Targets is at 41.50, 41.50. So that ends our stocks in focus or setups in focus in the US market. So just copy paste this TradingView watch list. Then in your watch list, then tingnan mo na lang if may makita kang setup, then go ahead. If aligned siya with my trade ideas, then go ahead. Ilagay mo siya sa mga ano mo, focus list mo. But ito yung mga stocks in focus ko this week. So moving on, let's proceed with the Philippine markets, no. So our headline for the Philippine markets is basically nagre-resist tayo at 7K level. Nagre-resist tayo at 7K level and it's now kissing the 10-day moving average, no. So puntahan natin yung chart ng PSEI. Yan. So Monday na ngayon, no. So gumagalaw na yung market. Yesterday nung nire-record ko yung other setups in focus na naubusan ako ng battery sa laptop. So I was outside doing stuff. So PSEI, we resisted at the 7K level. Then right now, we're pulling back and kissing the 10-day moving average. So will this be a 10-day kiss and rally setup or will we continue to decline, no? And then mag-support tayo at around 6.8K level. So yun yung bull case, bear case natin, no? Bull case, kiss and rally, breakout above 7K, next resistance is at 7.2K. Dito sa swing high area na yan or structural resistance area na 'to. 7.2K, bigay mo ng 7.2K. So it's around 4% rally, no, for PSEI. So may potential up move tayo ma-experience with PSEI if mangyari yun. If it moves slower, then next support is at 6.8K. Ngayon, so that's that, no. Interesting tickers and PSE. So ilagay natin dito sa scan list natin. Then let's discuss them, no. Punta tayo dito sa scan list natin. Then I'ma put these names dito. So discuss ko lang isa-isa. So BDO, medyo weird 'to, hindi pala 'to BDO. BDO Unibank. So it's a financial name. So the US market malakas financials, same with the Philippines, 'di ba? Same with the Philippine market. So ito yung ano natin, ticker code natin for financials, FIN. So we are breaking above this all-time high level, retesting this previous all-time high level actually. So may potential move higher tayo for BDO. So next is SMPH. So under real estate sector, so one of the preferred sectors, no, in the Philippine market since we are transitioning to a loosening monetary policy with the PSP or interest rate cuts, no, basically. So mukhang cup and handle in the short term. So if this materialize, 'di ba? Next target mo is at the swing high level. Structural resistance at 34. So if bibilin mo diyan, stops mo, i-tighten mo, targets mo at 1618. It's a 2.9 or 3:1 risk reward trade. Reward risk trade rather. So it's a swing trade lang, no, suma total. Pero if you're long term, pwedeng mag-accumulate ka at this level. May potential downtrend line breakout tayo dito with SM Prime. Next, MBT. Hindi na naman nag-ano, MBT yan. So testing previous resistance level. So it's a 10-day kiss and rally, potential 10-day kiss and rally. So that's Metrobank. Is all-time high ba 'to? Actually all-time high na 'to, no, Metrobank. So isa 'to sa mga favorite names ko din right now with in the Philippine market. Hmm. So next is Meralco. So Meralco is near 52-week high, actually all at 52-week high na 'to, Meralco. Tama ba 'to? Yung chart na 'to? Medyo weird yung chart, But ayun, nag-breakout na siya. Right now, retesting this previous swing high level. So far, no setups pa right now. Or pwede mong gawin, buy the retest, then trade the continuation. Next is ASEN. So it transitioned to a markup phase coming from this complex accumulation structure. Ngayon, nagpo-pull back towards the 10-day, 20-day moving average, creating this channel pullback. So may potential breakout tayo dito. No? So downtrend line breakout, then next targets mo is simply the decline swing or decline swing measured target. So buy on breakout at the 30-minute time frame, then targets mo 1618, 3.5 is to 1 if swing objective. Pero if you want to position trade ASEN, pwedeng mag-accumulate ka at this area, then set your stops at around 5 pesos. 5 pesos, then targets mo is at the 8 peso area. So that's ASEN. Next is MWC retesting this RTL level or resistance trendline level, and the 50-day moving average. So pwedeng mag-buy on dip ka at this level or yung retest. Stops mo ilagay mo at 25.70. So that's MWC. MEG, hindi na naman Mega World. Yan. Mega World under real estate sector as well. One of the favored market sectors, no, with a rate cutting cycle or start of a rate cutting cycle. So it's now consolidating near resistance level dito sa 190. So may potential kiss and rally din tayo dito. 10-day kiss and rally. So that's MEG. So bigger picture, it's producing this bear trap setup. Wyckoff accumulation bear trap setup. So if this materialize, most likely ang gagawin niyan, no, hello, yan, excuse. Akala ko na wala yung ano ko, yung audio ko. Most likely ang gagawin nito is it may move higher, it may test this previous resistance area, then magke-create siya ng another, magbe-base na naman siya, magbe-base ulit siya. So that's the possible scenario with MEG. Or pwede rin, ang gawin niyan, downtrend line breakout, mag-ano siya, mag-test ng 2.30, then mag-coil at this level. So another possible scenario for me. For Wilcon, actually downtrend line breakout din 'to, eh. Yan, downtrend line breakout. So it's creating a higher low. Actually nag-breakout na siya dito sa base na yan, eh. Sa mini inverted or parang square root, ganyan. Kung ano man gusto nating tawag diyan, but basically nag-conso, nagkaroon ng bear trap, nag nag-reclaim, ni-reclaim 'tong level na yan, then consolidated. Right now, it's breaking above this resistance area. Ngayon, may potential ano tayo 'no, downtrend line breakout for Wilcon. Next, is CNPF, a downtrend line breakout as well. Tapos all-time high, all-time high. So, ang puwede natin gawin dito, we can anticipate at this coil, stops natin ilagay natin at 34.60, targets natin at the 46 level. So, ilagay ko na 'to sa green, pati MWC, pati actually MDT. Ilagay natin sa green list natin. So, I have GT cap. So, nag-anticipate na ako at this level. But simply put, it's a retest, no? It's a retest from this Wyckoff accumulation. Then, I'm betting na mag-transition siya to another markup phase. So, that's GT cap, no? Long-term play to for me. Next target ko is at 1K. Next is AREIT. So it's also under markup phase coming from this Wyckoff accumulation. It's on its second consolidation pattern or second base. So ito yung first base, the breakout, move higher, creating this second base. So next target is at 1618. So for me, ang pwede natin gawin dito, accumulate lang tayo, get the dividends, then the next target is at the 200% level dito sa all-time high area. So, isa din sa magbe-benefit sa REIT cutting cycle 'no, itong A-REIT. So, next is P-Gold. P-Gold is actually, um, near all-time low. Hindi naman near all-time low, pero nag nag-ano siya, eh, nag-test siya ng 2020 low, then it moved higher, create ng bear trap at this level. So, ito yung support area natin, 'di ba? Ito yung support area. Move lower, reclaim this, support level, then right now, breaking above this downtrend line. So it's a downtrend line breakout setup, P-Gold. It's a major reversal setup. So, create na siya ng pullback channel, eh, 'no? Short-term pullback channel, and it's about to continue, to move higher. Next target most likely is at the 30 level, 30 peso area. Isarado mo na dun sa 30 pesos. Yan. So if you swing trade mo 'yan, next target mo is at 30. Next is RRHI. So, it's a consumer name, 'di ba? It also tested the 2020 low, although hindi pa siya nag-recover above that. Wait lang, tama ba? 'Yan. So, ilagay natin yung low dito, 'yan. Actually, nagre-recover na siya above it. Tapos it's producing this, white of accumulation near the support level. So, if mag-materialize 'to, guys, then maybe it's gonna move, towards the 50 peso area. Yan. So, 200% target is at 46. So, if we'll be trading this stock, lagyan natin yung stops natin at 36, targets mo at 200%. It's a 3 to 1, 2 to 1 reward risk trade. So, small ano lang, ah, sa small reward risk trade. Tapos medyo matagal na matagal-tagal na hawakan 'to most likely. So, it's not a priority trade. So, looking at DNL, and DNL Industries, tignan natin yung bigger picture. So, sa akin, ang nakikita ko dito, it's also a downtrend line breakout. So, if mag-downtrend line breakout siya, next target mo is at 7 pesos. Or dito sa swing high na yan, 6.80 na lang. So, potential downtrend line breakout. Next is EMI, Emperador Inc. So, it's creating this square root pattern. So, moved lower, created a V-shaped recovery, then right now it's consolidating, tightening above the 50-day, 100-day, 20-day moving average. So, if it breaks above this, structure resistance, then next target mo most likely is at this gap area, gap fill area, 20 pesos. 20 pesos. So, pwede mag-anticipate ka dyan. Stops mo, ilagay mo dito sa 18.50. Then, targets mo is at $20, 20 pesos. So, it's a 4 to 1, 4 to 1 reward risk trade. So, that's CMI. Lastly, hindi pa pala, may RCR pa tayo. MacroAsia, sino ba yun? Yan, MacroAsia. So, MacroAsia uh, is under accumulation pa rin. It's not yet transitioning to a markup phase. Pero, if we're gonna put an anchored VWAP from this high, it's now testing this anchored VWAP resistance. So if it breaks above this anchored VWAP resistance, then most likely will be transitioning to a markup phase. Although may times na nag-breakout siya, but it's getting faded, no? Pero ang punto natin dito, may potential ano tayo dito, potential transition to a markup phase. And should it transition to a markup phase, lagay natin yung trading range low natin, trading range high, then targets natin is at 18 pesos, yung previous all-time high level. So, we shall see, we shall see. Then lastly, RCR. So, a REIT's name na transitioning to a markup phase. So, recently IPO'd lang din 'to, 2021, late 2021. It moved higher, then crashed down, nag-decline siya, proceeded to create this accumulation structure, and right now we are at the early stage markup. After the breakout, nag-retest lang, then right now it's creating this tight continuation pattern. So that's our CR. And that's all our setups and focus in the Philippine market, no? Now let's proceed with crypto. So tingnan natin ano yung nangyari with crypto nung last week. So it's a sea of red. Yung big four natin, yung BTC, Ethereum, Solana, BNB natin are down more than 10% for the week. Wala tayong makitang outlier for long setups. Basically last week, it's a short seller's haven, no? So last week hindi ako masyado nakapag scalp and swings in crypto since I'm focused on trading US names last week. So let's see this week, no, if we see a downward continuation for these names. But overall, let's review our big four. So starting with BTC. So nag-resist siya dito sa 100-day moving average at around 64K. Then even reach below the 60K level. Right now, testing this support level, no? The structure support area. So if it fails to support at 58K, next support level is at 54K. So another high volatility down move for Bitcoin. So mukhang distribution pattern siya, no? Kasi yung decline size bigger than its rallies, eh, 'di ba? Tapos nasa resistance level pa tayo. All-time high resistance level. So we shall see, no, if leading signal ba tong BTC for a risk of environment with equities or nag-reaccumulate lang tong Bitcoin. Hindi natin alam, no. But looking at Ethereum, it's also showing signs of distribution, 'di ba? So it failed to sustain above the 10 and 20-day moving average. Kala natin magbe-bear trap dito. Kala natin magre-recover above this support line, but hindi, eh. Nag-retest and then move lower. So parang wedge pop to the downside yung nangyayari with Ethereum. So if you're trading Ethereum names, ang gawin mo na lang is focus on short setups. Next is BNB and Solana. So also showing signs of distribution. Declines are stronger than rallies. Tapos nasa support level din tayo ng structure, eh, ng trading range. Tapos looking at the moving averages, we are below the 100, we are below the 50, all key moving averages basically. So showing signs of distribution, yung major coins natin. So that ends our crypto review. Hindi na muna tayo maghahanap ng setups with crypto since our focus right now is the Philippine market and US market, no? Since nandun yung easy money on long setups. So our guidance for the week, point number 1, we are seeing potential rotation to growth names, 'di ba? But always focus on the strongest market groups. And right now, the strongest market groups are in the value space, 'di ba? Value segment, value related segment. So just trade the continuation setups just like we are seeing right now in regional banks, in healthcare names. Halos ang dami natin nakitang setups, 'di ba? So just trade the continuations since nagpapakita ng mga relative strength yung mga names na yun. Pangalawa, expect volatility on the second half of the week as the market may go risk off ahead of the jobs data on Friday. So yun yung main highlight natin or main risk event natin for the week. Actually, yung JOLTS job openings may potential volatility event din tayo doon. And the PMI, services PMI on Thursday. So second half of the week talaga yung main concern natin, no, for our possessions. Pangatlo, PSE and emerging markets are now showing strength and there are potential setups or emerging setups, di ba? So the primary tailwind in local equities is dahil doon sa weakening dollar. And it attracts foreign inflows, di ba? Tama naman yun, di ba? So tingnan natin USD PHP. So clear as day na we have a strong peso and a declining dollar. So we shall see, di ba? We shall see if it manifests dito sa local markets natin or it's gonna produce a continuation. And lastly, crypto remains weak. and we reshifted our bias toward short-sided swings and scalps. But right now, and my focus is on the US market and Philippine market. So dun ko muna ilalagay yung attention ko. So that's our guidance for the week. Actually, di ko pa na-discuss yung exposure. So if I'm gonna discuss our optimal exposure in the US market, optimal risk exposure is around 3% at any given time. Kumbaga, uh, if ang risk mo per trade, ang VAR mo per trade is 1%, up to 3 stocks lang yung max mo, no? If ma-cancel yung risk, you can add more. Pero ang importante dito, ang punto natin dito is we are in a risk-on market with the US, with US equities. But focus on strongest market groups, di ba? Then, in the Philippine market, same thing. We are in a risk-on environment, cautious risk-on environment in the Philippine markets. But basically focus on the emerging setups na nakita natin. And with crypto, if you're trading swing plays, focus on short-sided swing setups. So, risk exposure, lagay mo sa 2%, 1%. No? That's your risk exposure. So if you're risking 1% per trade, just gawin mong max of 2 names lang yung hawak mo. Tig 1% risk exposure. So total of 2%. So that's our guidance for the week. So I hope na natulungan ko kayo in being prepared for the markets ahead in the US market, Philippine market, and crypto markets. I hope na may natutunan din kayo in our workflow right now. And sana nagustuhan ninyo yung mga segments like added segments like setups and focus. So previously we created it as a two-part video, but I think mas gusto kong isang pasadahan na lang, no? Kumbaga niro-raw-dog na natin 'tong pag-prepare for the week. So yun, good luck for this trading week. I hope na kumita tayo and we protect our capital responsibly. So yun, see you again. If you have any questions, just PM me or DM me or just chat dito sa Discord channel natin. So see you again in the next video. Good luck and God bless. Bye-bye.